Hey, this is Aaron with Access Property Management. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the owner statement so I can hopefully help you understand it better if you have any questions about it. Or maybe you're new with us and you've never seen the owner statement before. This will be a great video to help you learn about what you're seeing. So I'm going to share my screen with you and let's learn about the owner statement. So let's jump into it here. I've got a sample statement I'm going to use. This is the first page of the owner statement, and it's always going to have your name, address here in the corner, which I've blocked out in this case. It's going to have the report period, statement period, usually going to be between the 11th of the prior month and the 10th of the current month. So we always do statements on the 10th of each month unless the 10th happens to be a holiday or a weekend, in which case we will process them on the next business day. So the first page of the statement does have a paragraph here, just kind of assisting with kind of what we're going to talk about here in the video, how to read your statement, how to understand the statement. Down below that, you have the summary or a snapshot, if you will, of all the information you're going to find in detail on the following pages. Now, it's important to know that the information that you see here on the first page is only a summary of the information that follows. So this is not in addition to, but is just a quick glance of everything in the statement itself. So if you don't want to, wade through all of the information that follows, or if you just have a minute to kind of check on it, you get the email during the day and you want to look, you can take a look at this first page and say, okay, I've collected, $2,700 in rent this month. Looks like I'm getting an owner draw of this much. And maybe that's all you need to know right now, or maybe you don't have time to look through it all. This first page, again, is only a summary, and it is not in addition to everything that follows. So it's an important note to make. We do get a lot of questions about that. So on to the second page, we're going to begin kind of going through all the detail for all of the buildings or units that you have under management with us. So the top here, which I've blacked out in this case, is going to have your name or your portfolio name, and it's going to have all the buildings that you have included on this statement. The first section is going to start off with the first building. So the information contained here is going to be broken down by building. So building 1 is going to be at the top, building 2 will be next, and so on and so forth. So in this case, the first building, we have a maintenance bill, and we have a description of what happened here. We have the vendor name, we have all of the description of what was done, what was completed. And then we have two columns here. The column on the left is for income, and the column on the right is an expense. In this case, obviously, we have an expense. Looks like we did some turnover in this particular unit, so we have some turnover maintenance. We have a emergency lockbox that we put on the home, and we had the home cleaned. So we have a starting balance here, $1,023. This is what we started the period with on November 11th in this case. And we have activity for this particular building. There's no income because it's vacant. And we have a total of $999 of expenses, which were related to the turnover in this case. So we have a summary effect on cash for this building of minus $999. Moving on to the next building, we can see that it is occupied. We collected rent on this unit. Looks like we have some management fees. So this particular tenant paid rent. It was $950. And then we have a calculation of the management fee. In this case, the fee is 9%. And the calculated fee was $85.50. There's another payment here for $25, another management fee calculation, and another payment on December 5th from this tenant for $925, and another management fee calculation. Down at the bottom, we've got a total for this building, total rent collected, total expenses, and then a net effect on cash, positive $1,729. So each building will have its own set of detail. It will have its own summary based on the activity for that building. And then at the next page, where we get down towards the end of the statement, there's one more building, one more rent payment, one more management fee, and again, a summary for this other building. Below the building activity, you're going to see owner draws. And if there's anything that went on with your statement that was not tied to a particular building, it's going to be under this section as well where it says no buildings specified. Normally it's just owner draws because we tie as much as we can back to a building or a unit or a tenant. So in this case, there were 2 owner draws performed in this statement period, one on November 20th, one on December 10th, and the amounts of those are here. And again, we have a summary of the total dispersed to the owner for this statement. So the next line is the ending balance, which is just calculated based on your beginning balance, the summary of all your buildings, and the summary of any owner draw activity. Now you will notice that the owner draws show up on the right column, which is typically for expenses. And we show it this way because even though that money is not an expense, it is money that we're sending out from your portfolio to you, so we no longer have it. So we want to reduce your portfolio by that amount. So it is calculated as a negative amount against your portfolio, even though that is money that's simply being forwarded on to you. So your ending balance, again, is just the net of all your activity. The portfolio minimum is shown here. In this case, the minimum is $300. You can find this in your management agreement. So the subtotal ending balance was $1,141. Subtract the portfolio minimum, the balance is $841. It's important to remember that this $300 is still in your portfolio. It is your maintenance reserve. It is your cash. It's only being held back so that we ensure that we maintain that minimum balance in your portfolio. The next line is for unpaid bills. Now, in this case, there are no unpaid bills. It shows 0. If there were unpaid bills, you'd come all the way down to the bottom here, and there's a section for unpaid bills specifically. If there is a bill, it's going to have the vendor name, the invoice number, the date, where it happened, what we did, and the total amount. If there was a partial payment made, it'll show a paid amount and then a total amount due remaining to be paid. Next item under unpaid bills is called less unsettled e-payments. Now, this is a relatively new line item for the owner statement, and this is to prevent money that hasn't fully transferred from being sent out. In the past, we've had a few occasions where we would receive a payment from a tenant, maybe the day or the day before that we do an owner statement, and then for whatever reason, that payment bounces and that money gets pulled back. So this line item ensures that tenant payments are fully transferred and fully settled. There's no chance that they're going to be returned by the bank before we send that money off to the owner or spend it elsewhere. So in this case, there was one e-payment that had not fully transacted at the time we did the statement, and it was for $841.75. So that amount is being withheld again off of this amount due to the owner. In this case, there is a 0 amount due from the owner. There's nothing due from the owner. If there was an amount due from the owner, that amount would show here. That is typically only when there's an unpaid bill that exceeds your portfolio minimum, or if, again, there's an unsettled e-payment and maybe, well, I can't really think of another reason why that would happen, but those are the 2 most common reasons. So this is the end of the owner statement, financial activity. Below that, we do have lease information. So all of your leases are going to show up here. It's going to have the tenant name. It's going to have the address, which is blacked out on this particular form. On the right side, you'll have the monthly rent for that lease, the security deposit for that lease, and the ending date for that lease. Now, the owner statements will be delivered on the 10th or the next business day when we process those, and you'll be able to retrieve this form directly from your email. Now, if you can't find the email, or maybe it got filtered out by spam, or you want to find an older statement, you can do that in your tenant or your owner portal rather. So if you go to your portal, you can click on Documents on the left-hand side menu. And the first items that are come up will be your statements. Your newest one is always going to be on top. And if you want an older one, you can just scroll down to the time period that you're looking for. and you can click on it. It's going to load, and then you'll see it downloaded here. And then you'll just open it as a PDF on your computer. So all your statements will be on your portal, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have other questions about the owner statement, feel free to contact us. You can always reply to the email where you received your statement, and we'll get those questions answered for you. Thanks for watching.